Thank you to the Metals Investor Forum for the opportunity to present to you today. My name is John Keating, as John said. PJX Resources is a mineral exploration company trading on the TSX-V under the symbol PJX. 5 months ago, we discovered something that has taken the industry by surprise. We discovered Sullivan deposit style zinc, lead, silver mineralization in boulders, and then after that, outcrop. All right. People have been exploring for this type of mineralization, like Keating and others, for over 130 years in the Sullivan Mining District. They've drilled holes over 2,000 meters deep. We discovered it at surface. This is a standard disclaimer that things I say may or may not come to fruition. What's the opportunity here? Sullivan deposit is background. Sullivan deposit is a world-class deposit discovered in 1892 by prospectors. 160 million ton deposit, over 17 million tons of zinc and lead metal, as well as over 250 million ounces of silver, and then they also produce cadmium, some gold, indium, gallium, germanium from this deposit over its life, 90-year life, before being closed in 2001 after Teck had taken over Keating. So what did we discover? As we mentioned, prospectors in late September discovered these boulders at the bottom of a mountain slide in a talus slope. Ex-chemical geologists have looked at it and said it's identical to Sullivan ore and Sullivan grade. It has all the components that the Sullivan has. Never been found before. Later, we had the same prospectors going up the mountain, because of course boulders roll downhill, and they actually found outcrop. All right, and that outcrop supports the fact that we must be close to the source of this. The discovery's at surface, and we have road, rail, and everything in the area. Now you're looking at a map of the Cranbrook area, and up in the left-hand corner, this location map shows the province of BC, Vancouver on the west coast, and then this square you see here near the border with Alberta is the map you're looking at. The Sullivan mine is located right here. All these properties you see in color are owned, the mineral rights are owned 100% by PJX Resources. It's been 13 years consolidating this land package over 680 square kilometers. In that process, we've been able to accumulate a lot of historical data, over $25 million worth of data. And we've identified yellow spots on here shown as gold targets, and the red is base metal. The place where we've discovered this new Sullivan-style deposit potential is right here on our large Dewey Trail property, over 186 square kilometers. This is the prospector that discovered the boulders along with his brothers. That's one of the boulders in his hand. It's very angular, very large. It has not traveled far. Here's a photo of one of the rocks that's been cut. And what you're seeing are bands and beds. It's this classic Sullivan-style mineralization. You can see the bedding in that. This one's a really interesting sample because it's a fragmental. So this is a fragment, this is a pyrite fragment, but these two fragments tell a really interesting story. They're both sphalerite. Sphalerite is zinc mineralization. Those would be like 35, 40% zinc at least. The neat thing about it is those fragments came from somewhere. They came from beds that were deposited on the ocean floor and have since been blasted out of a vent. So that suggests that somewhere, hopefully in this mountain, not only do we have the grades that you saw from those boulders, but also from this higher grade zinc mineralization. This one here is also an interesting one. It's like a thumbprint. You can't see it very well, but these are all sphalerite, zinc-rich bands cutting across, and it's cross-cut by this dike, an alkalic dike. It's younger. So these bands are Sullivan age, 1.45 billion years old. The dike is probably about anywhere from 150 to maybe 60 million years old. Why do we say that? Because as John mentioned, that dike is hiding what is the potential deposit. Those rocks I just showed that are boulders are strongly magnetic. This is what the outcrop, the prospectors found in outcrop. And it's beautiful bands of sphalerite mineralization. So that's in place up the mountain to the north. So we know we're close to the source. This is not magnetic. So we know that we have magnetic material, non-magnetic material, zinc-rich, lead, silver, cadmium, indium, and everything in these rocks. We have multiple layers, what it appears. They're not all on the same horizon. which is exactly what happens at the Sullivan. Now you're looking at a photograph and you're looking northeast, and this is the historical Estella mine. It was a zinc, lead, cobalt, silver vein produced in the 50s, 60s. Our boulders were discovered right here in this talus coming off this slope. It's only 400 meters from the portal. Why wouldn't anyone have ever looked at it? They were mining a vein. This is SEDX, sedimentary, Sullivan-style mineralization. The prospectors then found the outcrop in this chute that's cut through this white area, which is that porphyry dike that John was talking about. Now, these are strongly magnetic. This is our large magnetic trend. Never been drilled. It's upslope, and that we think is the source of the boulders. You're looking at the airborne magnetic map here that we had flown in 2021 with expert geophysics. 890 line kilometers, 100-meter spacing. Great for being able to detail information near surface and at depth. In the lower corner here, you can see the scale bar. The pink, red, orange, that's your higher magnetic signature. The blue is low magnetism. Where our boulders are found is that star right there I'm pointing to. The Estella mine is there, and this is where the outcrop is in bedrock. Here's your scale bar. That's 500 meters, 1,000, 1,500 meters. So this large red and pink anomaly, highly magnetic, is just upslope from the boulders. That's about 500 meters across. However, the orange and yellow is still potential ground to host a deposit, because we know that the mineralization we saw in outcrop is not magnetic. So that's about 1.6 kilometers. That's our target area. This cross-section through here gives a really good story. This is a cross-section. The Estella vein structure is here. Coming down here, these are the three mine levels at the Estella. Like I said, mined in the 50s and 60s. It's a vein. The boulders were found right here at the bottom of this slope. This is Sullivan time. These rocks are a series of rocks that are similar to the Kootenay King, which is a deposit to the south of us by about 4 kilometers. So we know it's good, favorable horizon for deposit formation. This is the Gabbro Sill. You can see how everything is folded over along an axis right here. Key here is this dike that John was talking about. At surface, it looks like a big intrusion because it covers such a big area, but it's because it dips parallel to the slope, it's just a veneer. This is our mag anomaly. Covers a large area upslope from the boulders. So this red dashed area is our target. That's where we want to drill. You can see the scale over here, that's 200 meters. So 200, 300 meters holes, a series of them across here, we hope to be able to hit a deposit. This over here on the right-hand side is a schematic cross-section of the Sullivan deposit at the same scale as this section. You could fit a Sullivan deposit easily in here. That's what has people surprised, not only the quality of what we found, but the potential opportunity. PJX has approximately 160 million shares outstanding, fully diluted 217. If all these warrants and everything else were taken down, we'd have another $12 million. We have $2.7 million in the bank. As John said, we're waiting for a permit amendment and the snow to melt. And then we'll be going to drill. PJX not only has this target we've just talked about, that's one of over 25, a pipeline of targets in the Sullivan Mining District. Like I said, we've built a huge land package. Timmins, in comparison, is about a 20-kilometer area where most of the gold is performed. That's 20 kilometers. So large land package, pipeline of targets, one that's ready to drill this summer that could really make an interesting and large discovery. And we look forward to giving you an update and having a discovery. Thank you very much.